we won't launch just to launch because the client wants to do it. We will convince them, hey, until we don't have the right copy, the right design, it's not good. You're going to spend money on ads. You're throwing your money away. So it's better to wait another 3 days and have everything complete. And
I always say better late than wrong.
exactly.
Welcome to Beyond the Build, the podcast where we talk with agency leaders about the work behind the work, how teams scale, where processes break, and what it really takes to deliver creative projects in today's world. I'm Sean Johnston. My guest today is Alex Lloro, founder and managing director of All Marketing Services, a digital agency blending SEO, PPC, content strategy, analytics, and website development for small and mid-sized businesses. Alex, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
To kick things off, tell us a little bit about what you do, how your websites fit into the broader digital services your team delivers.
Sure. We are a digital marketing agency based out of Washington, D.C., but we work with clients all over the U.S. and Canada. And we specialize in service-based companies, and we run advertising and we optimize their landing pages to increase their conversion rate. So we cover the full funnel. We do some SEO, some web design, but we started as a full stack digital marketing agency. But in the last years, we have specialized on advertising and conversion rate optimization. But we are still doing SEO and web development for some of our previous clients that are still with us.
So because your team's juggling both marketing and web development, I imagine the workflow between the two is pretty tight. How do website projects sort of fit into your overall service mix?
Well, it is a really important part because a significant part of our work is working with the landing pages for the advertising campaigns. So yes, it's completely integrated in our daily workflow because there are always things to try, run different tests. Everyone has some knowledge of design, so they can run the tests and make some changes on the landing page.
Yeah, and what is the creative and development workflow look like in your agency? Like how does it fit in with your campaign planning?
Well, we have some ideas, some templates that we can use because it's working for us in the past. But for every company, for every industry, there are changes. Things will work a little bit different. So that conversation of what we need, what we want to achieve with the landing page, what is the tone of the language that we're going to use on the landing page is very important. So having that before starting building the page is the first step for us. And then we will check for the content, we will check for usability, how long does the landing page take to load. If it is too long, we will have to make some changes, maybe remove some of the creative part of the design to focus more on performance. Yes, it's balancing design with performance.
Yeah, that's always the case, isn't it? So yeah, when timelines slip, where does that usually start? Is it dev, content, approvals, SEO? Like where do timelines sometimes get impacted?
Well, SEO is not relevant for us on landing pages because those landing pages are specific for that campaign. So the canonical of the landing page will be another web page on the website that is completely different, that is more informative and not so oriented to convert. So there is no SEO work on the landing pages. It's just more the content that we want to include, what the person is looking on that page. If it's a car accident, then we will talk in that page only about car accident. If it is a slip and fall problem, we will talk only about slip and fall instead of having a just generic personal injury landing page, right? So that's the main thing is having that specific landing page covering the pain point that the person looking on Google is having at that moment.
Right. Are you guys normally working with existing sites and putting together the landing pages with whatever tools there, or do you spin them up as a separate subdomain and build them on something different?
It depends on the client. We can work with the website that they already have. If they don't have a design team or they are not comfortable using their website, we will set up a completely different subdomain, and then we can do our magic there.
You can do whatever you want. Yeah, I would imagine particularly if you're dealing with like law offices and stuff like that. The websites are going to come in all different shapes and sizes and degree of good and bad.
Yes, and depending the page builder that they are using, if they are just using Gutenberg or they are using Elementor, there are some limitations on some of them that we don't like. If there is no other way to do it, we will do it. But of course, we feel more comfortable using the stack that we usually work with.
And I would imagine like campaign planning, like there's definitely some time pressures at times. So when you've got campaigns running and a site build happening at the same time, where does the pressure show up most for your team?
Well, having the landing page as soon as possible because the client wants to launch yesterday.
Yeah, always, I bet. Yeah.
So yes, having the landing page is ready with the right copy that we want to use, that we know that is going to convert. We won't launch just to launch because the client wants to do it.
Yeah.
We will convince them, hey, until we don't have the right copy, the right design, it's not good. You're going to spend money on ads. You're throwing your money away. So
Yeah.
it's better to wait another 3 days and have everything complete.
I always say better late than wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. I'd love to talk a little bit about the idea behind this episode, which is building faster without cutting corners. What does that look like inside your agency today?
Well, we have predefined templates for landing pages that we use, that we know works for us, the structure, but every client is different, so we need to adapt that. But yes, having predefined blocks and fields that we are going to reuse because we know that they work is really helpful to have a landing page in hours or even minutes. Sometimes if we just have a layout and we are just changing from slip and fall to car accident or from jumbo mortgage to a regular mortgage, it's quite easy to adapt the landing page and just adapt the content for that specific service. Or so that's the way that we try to accelerate the process, having predefined blocks that we can reuse because we know it's been working. And obviously, when we see that running some tests, we do improvements, we improve the block that we have saved. So we always use the latest version that is working better. And for that, the A/B testing part is really important for us.
Right. So, having some tried and tested systems in place that already work, there's no need to reinvent the wheel every project.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. We've done the same thing. Refoundry is really based in that entire idea of repeatable components and using the underlying architecture consistently while making it look however you want. Like there's only so many ways to arrange content, and landing pages have a couple of very specific ways that they perform or don't, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So what parts of the builds consistently take longer for you? It sounds like you have to play with different pieces all the time, but like where do you often find that it's taking longer than expected?
Well, sometimes the approval of the client, they always have an opinion. And even if they love the product, they have to demonstrate that they are the client, that they know. So they will ask for some changes or, no, I don't like that. And it's like, okay, we have tested this. What you are saying is an option, but we have run different tests in the past. These are the results. This is going to work better. So yes, that conversation with the client until we get the approval and they like the landing page is sometimes the bottleneck for us.
Yeah, it's pretty common. And clients, they do like to have opinions, don't they?
Mm-hmm. And the more people involved in the process, the more delays.
Too many chefs in the kitchen. Within law offices, is it fairly common for there to be a lot of lawyers with a lot of strong opinions, or is there usually just one person? Yeah.
We are glad that our clients rely on law firms above all because they are not marketers. They just check for the language and say, hey, we are a law firm. We have these limitations, although we know because we have worked for years with law firms. So we know the limitations, what we can say, what we cannot. But sometimes instead of saying this, why don't you say this? That is clearer. And okay, yes, for sure. They have to agree with what the bar in the state says. So there is no problem with that. So it's more about the phrasing, although the goal is the same with this with that header on the landing page, but for those restrictions that they have, sometimes we have to make some small changes. But for design, and they are usually not very picky with that. It's more about the language.
As long as it looks like the brand, then you're usually fairly good. Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned situations where you can kind of do your own landing page and put up a separate subdomain. What are your build tools when you do that? Do you typically in WordPress or are you using something else?
Yes, we love WordPress and we love a page builder called Brizy. And for me, it's much more flexible than Elementor. I've been using Brizy for the last, I don't know, 5 years since they launched. I tested, I love it, and I've been using Brizy since then. So for all our pages, we use Brizy, and when we have the opportunity, we will use it for our clients.
Where do you find it helps the most, and where do you feel it maybe could be better?
I mean, could be better probably as any other page builder on the quality of the HTML, a lot of extra code, but I mean, the speed of the websites built with Brizy is quite good. I guess that even Elementor is worse on that aspect than Brizy.
Yeah, it's pretty bloated. Do you guys leverage any additional caching tools to try to help with performance? A lot of site builders will inject quite a lot of extra stuff and a lot of render blocking pieces that kind of get in the way. Do you use anything extra to help?
Not usually.
No? Okay.
We use extra for pop-ups, exit pop-ups. We will use external tools. Although Brizy now has also pop-ups, and so we can use the internal tool that they have. But usually that's all we need to create the landing page. And then with the A/B test tools, we will make the changes directly on their UI instead of Brizy. Sometimes we might set up two different landing pages built completely on Brizy, but sometimes we just make the changes directly on the A/B testing tool.
Do you have an A/B platform that you like in particular?
Again, if the client is using one, we are okay with that. They do almost the same. Optimizely is great, BWO is great, Web Trends is nice. So yes, any tool, we are happy working with any of those tools.
So when development and content are overlapping, where do the bottlenecks tend to emerge? Like where do things get slowed down, or where is there friction in your current workflow?
Well, usually we don't have that problem. We are a small team, so it's really easy to work. So we don't see any blocks from content or from design. We try to do that at the same time, and we don't usually have any problem with. We just have one copywriter.
Yeah, I guess there's some benefits to small, nimble teams, right? You just work closely together. Okay, so well, when projects stack up or workloads spike, like how do you support your team through that? What's your leadership style when things are getting stressful?
Well, I love to get my hands dirty. I will be the one that will start designing the page or doing some work to help. I don't have any problem with that. I love it. I designed my first web page in 1995, so it's been a while. And I love it. Although I'm more now on the facing and managing client relationships, but I love to get back and design a landing page myself, work on some of the copy, although the copywriter is much better than I am, but yeah, I love to do a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Okay. I imagine when you started the agency versus the way you're doing work right now, the workflow has probably evolved over that time. When did you realize that your workflow needed to evolve to sort of keep pace with the type of work that you were doing?
Well, in the moment that I wasn't able to do everything, I realized that working first with some freelancer that could help just a few hours. And after working with a few of them, I realized that we needed clear SOPs of the way we work, how we do things. So when bringing a new freelancer, because the previous one was busy and couldn't work on those days, and we needed to launch on Monday, and it's Thursday, and this person is not available, bringing another person to help was complicated because first, Brizy is not a very well-known page builder. Their market share is small compared to Gutenberg or Elementor. Having those SOPs, explaining how we do things, where to get the templates, the blocks that we use, having everything documented, accelerated the process of integrating a new person on the team.
Yeah. Documentations is an undervalued piece of your workflow.
Exactly. And I'm the one that hates documentation, but I know that is crucial for our operations. So I prefer to spend time and redefine the SOP and include new things, really small details that maybe shouldn't be there, but for someone new to the team are really helpful. For you, it's like, yeah, of course. How it's going to be different? But for someone new that doesn't know how the team works, it's really helpful. So yeah, the more detailed the SOP is, the better for the new team members.
I hit that threshold maybe about 5 years ago when I realized that all roads were leading to me all the time because there was just too much about how things worked in my head. And we went through a process of like collectively as a group, just literally writing every little thing that we do, why we do it, how to do it, and where it goes. That made a huge difference just to get that knowledge down in documentation for people to refer to. That's actually a really common thing I've seen a lot of agencies avoid way longer than they should have, is having that in a place where everyone can reference. Yeah, very valuable. So what have you learned about protecting quality over the years, even under tight timelines?
Well, for us, quality is the number one reason why clients work with us. So it's not negotiable. Everything we do must have the standards that we consider. And if not, we will delay the launch or we will talk to the client, hey, we are not happy with this. But quality is not negotiable for us because we are a small team and we try to focus on position ourselves as a really high quality service.
Yeah.
So that's for us is very important. We won't launch something that we are not comfortable with.
Yeah, and how do you review quality? Does everything go through you?
Yes, everything goes through me and I will review. I'm the senior member of the teams because of the years of experience that I have. It's always going through me.
What do you think agency leaders don't talk enough about when it comes to balancing speed, expectations, and team well-being?
Well, probably setting the expectations since the very first moment and getting the team to assimilate that culture of quality is not negotiable. That's the main point. If the new member is aware about that, he will do a quality job. If it's just, hey, I need this for yesterday, do the faster that you can, and we will launch and we will change it later.
Mm-hmm.
It's a completely different culture. So if someone starts, joins the team, that SOPs focus on that, saying, hey, until this is not done, don't move it, don't move to the next steps.
Yeah, it's along the sort of the documentation piece is also really making sure everybody understands what good looks like and what done looks like, so that there's no qualms or no misunderstandings as far as like those types of quality expectations. And I also found, I don't know if you felt the same, but also like a culture where a person who's not sure or needs more time to do it well has the freedom and the safety to say so, and ask for that time. How do you handle that internally when the amount of work it takes to get something done is more than you've got?
I'm comfortable with that. If a person needs more time, I will give him more time, and because we want to see the best of every individual in the company. So you need more time, it's okay. We will delay one day or whatever you need, but we want to make sure that you are doing your best.
Yeah, that goes a long way to building a good team culture, I think.
Mhm.
If a business wanted to strengthen its digital presence this week, what's one step they could take that has real impact? What would you recommend?
Well, obviously, the homepage is the first point of contact for anyone looking for the company. So just trying to have a really nice homepage is the first step, and then you can work on the rest of the pages on the site. But yes, the landing page is the presentation card, right?
Yeah. So how many of your campaigns are actually focused on the homepage, and how many campaigns are focused on something custom and specific to that campaign?
Always we have specific landing pages. Sending traffic to the homepage is one of the biggest mistakes that I see on advertising campaigns.
We found that as well. Yeah. It's too much. There's too many entry points. It's not focused enough.
Yes, if I visit your page, you will talk about SEO, the web design, many different services. But if I'm looking for web design, I want a landing page where you talk only about web design and about what I need. So sending traffic, and the homepage is designed to be informational, and a landing page is designed to convert in a higher, less information, just the specific things that that person is looking for. And you try that person doesn't leave the landing page without converting, without making a phone call, submitting a form, downloading the white paper or the content that you want him to download or read.
Yeah, it's got a focused intent. You just said
Exactly.
it's a real funnel. What's without giving away your secret sauce? What is the one thing every landing page has to have to actually perform?
Well, contact information accessible at any time,
Uh-huh.
because you can scroll down, but you For professional services companies, we work with a lot with them. Having the phone on the mobile version always visible is a must.
Yeah.
It will convert in a much higher rate. And if you prefer phone calls over forms submitted, that is a must. Sometimes our clients, slow companies, they don't have a big sales team or no sales team at all. So picking the phone is more difficult for them. So they prefer form submissions. So we will try to have a button that will send you to that form at any moment on the page. Yes, contact information on the landing page or the action that you want the visitor to perform, always visible, is very important.
That's great advice. So if your team could reclaim even 30 to 40% of your production time, what would that change for your business?
Well, first of all, go to market time to launch the campaign will be shortened. But it's not a big issue for us. One day of delay is not a big problem. And we try always to launch with something that we are comfortable with.
What about like the bottom line though? Like if you could, how would that help the profitability of the campaign? Is there not as much of it baked into the development costs
I
or?
mean, we have reduced our workflow in a significant part using AI.
Oh yeah. How are you implementing AI into your workflow?
Well, drafting content, the sections that we want to include in the landing page, we will have a draft and the copywriter will humanize that content using the tone that the client is using in their website, using some psychological or trying to bypass on biases that visitors with that problem may have. So there is a lot of psychology there. But yes, AI is really helpful and is reducing our workload a lot.
Yeah. Where do you see the future of your builds going? Like, do you see it going increasingly more AI, more low code, designer led? Where do you see the future of that going?
Well, every time is going to be much easier and faster. Obviously, you have already no code tools that you, with just a paragraph, create a landing page for a personal injury or a car accident law firm or for a mortgage broker specialized on jumbo mortgages. And that tool will create a nice landing page, but it's not going to be that good as one where you have completely control about the language that you're using, about the psychology behind converting a user, and the AI tools are not there yet.
Yeah, no, they're not. They're not there for design either.
Yeah, exactly. They are based on templates, very strict, very rigid templates. So they all look the same. The only thing that changes is the color and the content, but in my opinion. I mean, if you are a solopreneur that don't have a budget to pay for an agency, okay, you can use that kind of tool. If you are spending thousands on advertising, please don't do that. Have a really well designed and a good content on your landing page. Spend money on there because you're going to make a lot more money having a well-designed page with the right UX, with the right content, with the right tone.
Yeah, good advice.
For tight budget, it's okay, but for people with a decent budget, don't use those kind of tools.
Where, like, how are you positioning your agency for the next few years? Like, how? I mean, you're already trying to use AI, but things are going to continue to gain speed and continue to be more and more disruptive. How are you positioning yourselves to stay competitive?
Well, always trying to be with the last trends. We love to test different tools and see how we can incorporate those in our workflow. So yes, that's the way that we try to always talk with our clients and when we are having preliminary conversations. Hey, I heard about this tool. So we already know the tool and we can say, okay, it's good for this, and this. But if you want this, maybe you should use this different thing. That position ourselves as thought leaders and people realize, okay, these guys know what they are talking about. So we can trust them. So it's more about always testing the latest tools and know the latest trends so the clients, the potential client realizes that we are a good option for them.
Yeah, and there's the relational aspect as well, right? Managing those
Hmm.
human relationships with the clients,
Yes,
building that trust.
always.
If you could go back to the younger person that started this agency and teach them one thing that would save you a lot of pain and heartache, what would that lesson be? What would you give to that younger version of yourself?
always have control about the landing pages. When we started, we let the clients have their landing pages, design them, and the content. And once we realize that we can do a much better work, obviously it's more expensive for the clients. Some clients don't want to do it. So it's also a negotiation, but we can improve when we have the opportunity to have that subdomain where we can do whatever we want, always obviously online with aligned with the brand, obviously. But when we have that flexibility, the results that we can bring are much better.
Yeah, you can't really separate performance from the strategy that fuels it,
Mhm.
right? What about like the leadership side of things? What's the most important lesson you've learned about leading a team since you started?
That you must delegate and trust people. And for me, at the beginning, it was very, very difficult. So yes,
I think it is for all of us. Yeah.
yeah, you're used to do things your way. So when
Yeah.
someone new comes to the team and does things in a different way, I'm probably better than you because I'm not a designer. So a designer knows a lot more than I know about design. So trying to trust the person you have hired him, give him an opportunity, let him do the work that he can do. Yes, that's something that I should have done before. And at the beginning, I was micromanaging and trying to do the things like I used to do it. So yes, trust the team and not micromanage could be the best piece of advice for a younger me.
Yeah. It's hard to let go of some of those pieces. But I found for myself, anyways, that once I did, and I was actually like, they're doing it way better than I ever did.
Exactly.
It makes it a lot easier. But it was that first couple of times, it's really hard to let it go. I held on to it way too long a few times. All right. Well, thank you very much. Well, that's a wrap for this episode of Beyond the Build. A huge thank you to Alex Lloro for sharing such thoughtful insights about delivering quality at speed inside of a busy digital agency. If you're an agency owner or a creative leader and today's conversation resonated, stay tuned. There's a lot more coming this season. Alex, thanks again for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Excellent. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.